welcome to episode 8. Is it episode 8?
Yeah.
We've talked it over. It's episode 8. This is the Beat Delaware episode. I guess we're going against all of the state at this point. We're Massillon against an entire state. It's a small state, but we are here and I'm in studio. Maybe you've noticed I'm not at home. I've run away from a hurricane because I was inspired by Will Trell running all those yards. So I've run away. We wish everyone in Florida the best, including me and my house. If you're there, check out and see if I have one. But today we're here to talk about Delaware and last week's game. Introduce our guests, my co-host.
All right, I'm Becca Moore, and of course, as usual, this is my other half, Coach Nate Moore.
Go Tigers.
And who do we have today? So you're going to introduce your name, what position you play, who's
Number,
your task
task unit.
leader. Yeah, task unit.
My name is Kring. I'm number 49. I play fullback and middle linebacker, and I'm in task unit Robinson.
My name is Andrai Jones. I wear number 59. I play O-line and D-line, and I'm in task unit Mazer.
And you might notice on the desk, we have some Krause's wings here that I presented to the coach, as is a tradition that goes back to Paul Brown. When you beat Austintown Fitch, you get Krause's wings. Or it might be something that just started today. We're not really sure. Does Krause's want to step up and be our sponsor for Tiger Talk? That's what we're wondering about. Look how nice that, see? It could be up here every week. That's up to Krause's.
They're phenomenal wings, Scott.
They're the best wings in Stark County, although you have said there's competition.
There's some good ones out there.
But to me, Krause's is the best
Krause's
wing.
was really good. I appreciate it. Thank you.
No problem. Let's talk about the Austintown Fitch win. For me, I can't believe that Will Trell at some point ran more yards than he ran that night. But he did. That's only his second best performance.
Right.
That is insane. Talk a little bit about Will Trell and the O-line.
Yeah, I mean, Will Trell did a great job, and I thought all our backs ran really, really hard. But I think the story of that game was our offensive line. I mean, those guys dominated the Austintown Fitch front seven from start to finish. I don't know that I've ever seen a better performance by an offensive line.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? You getting that? Did you write it down?
Except next week. Next week will be better.
Yeah. I mean, the amount of chunk plays that we had, the amount of 5-yard plus plays that we had was unbelievable. To run for 406 yards, I think it was. And I think our longest run was 40 yards, maybe, something like that. It wasn't like we popped an 80 and a 70 and a 50. So phenomenal performance, and Fitch was running some stunts on both sides of the line a majority of the time, probably 75-80% of the time. And not only were we coming off the bubble, but we were picking up those stunts exactly how we needed to pick up within our schemes. So I mean, you combine those two things, and it's hard to say that we've had a better performance up front on the offensive line.
How sore were you Saturday morning?
I ain't put much offensive line that nice. I wasn't that sore. But I bet my guys were sore. They put in a lot of work.
I mean, I just can't imagine the beating that all of them took to run that many, 40 carries. But the line is there every time,
right,
pushing that, taking that hit. I mean, how were they? Let's ask it a better way. What did they do on Saturday to rest and repair and be ready for a game on Friday?
Chris, why don't you take that? It's a good question.
Yeah, Saturday is mostly just a film and a recovery day. The main thing we do is we'll go up in the indoor with Coach Stu, and we'll get a bunch of thorough stretches in. We'll do band stretches to stretch out our joints, and an active dyno stretch that'll get us going and get our blood flowing again. And also just a stretch just sitting there down and touch your toes and stretching out our arms and stuff. So we really Coach Stu makes sure we get a lot of good stretches in just to make sure we're as well as we can be for the next week.
Does anybody still do the ice baths? Because when I was coming in the summer sometime, well, I say summer, but August and really early September, people were still getting in Lee's ice baths outside.
Yeah, we they do the ice baths mostly on Wednesdays now, but I'm sure some people still go home and have their own ice baths on Saturday. That probably feels good after the game.
We have like a big tub, and on Saturday sometimes Lee's already there super early in the morning, and he's got it filled up with water and ice, and guys just come and sit in it. Like they just go in there like it's nothing, like it's a bathtub. I mean, it's like ice.
Right.
It's cold.
And what does
I
that
don't
do
know
for
how
you?
they do
Why?
that.
What benefit is that?
I'm not 100% sure, but I've tried it a couple times. I think it mostly like relaxes your muscles in some sort of way. I know it's mostly a thing for your joints and muscles, just to, if they're being like overworked, or not overworked, but if you're using them a lot and you're pushing a lot of stuff with them, I think it just helps to relax your muscles so it doesn't strain as much as it typically would.
It also constricts the blood vessels to helps push out the lactic acid in your muscles. And ice baths also raise your testosterone levels. So that definitely is in recovery as well.
So what position benefits the most from an ice bath?
I'd say it's pretty equal all the way around.
Oh, really? So it
Pretty equal all
doesn't.
the way
It's not
around.
like it really.
I mean,
helps
minus
offensive
like
line or
maybe your
something.
quarterbacks.
You've never done an ice
but,
bath?
Your skill guys, your other skill guys are running a
I'm
ton.
not a hot guy.
Yeah. Your other skill guys are running a ton, and then obviously the offensive line is pushing on their feet. The whole game, offensive and defensive line. So really, all those guys across the board, it's going to benefit greatly.
What day are you guys in the most pain in the week? What day do you think is the most painful day to be a football player?
Wednesday.
Wednesday?
Oh, why
Yeah.
Wednesday?
Because you got to the rough practice Monday. Now it's a big bang day. You get some work in. Tuesday, another big bang day. Wednesday is more calmed down, but that's when you start to feel it a little bit. So that's when the ice baths come in and help a lot.
Interesting. What would you say?
Yeah, I'd probably say either Tuesday or Wednesday, because that's like the middle of the week, and you're just trying to get used to your body being worked again after you had that time off on the weekend. And we also lift and stuff during school, so when you do all those lifts, you start to feel tight and stuff like that.
That's so fascinating to me as someone who does not play football. Why not? Why isn't it Friday night at midnight?
I feel like your adrenaline's still going.
Oh, that's a good answer. Yeah.
You'll feel it Saturday.
I think for any athlete too, like even after you run a big race or whatever, it's like a day or two before you like really like feel it. I like to do ice baths or go to iChiro and get in the ice chamber because I think it helps with your recovery faster. So.
And that's for your marathons, like that would
Yeah,
help.
or like an Ironman or something like that. Yeah, it's just better for your whole body. I don't know. You just feel like you come out feeling better. It doesn't feel good going in. It feels a lot better coming out. That's for sure. For sure.
That's really
You should try
fascinating
it.
to me. I'm not going to try it. I
Try a cold
appreciate it.
shower.
Try it and let us know how you feel.
No.
Like what's
I see
the,
what you're saying, but it's
just
not
go run
going
down
to
the
happen.
street and then be like, wait till tomorrow and then do an ice
Cold
bath.
showers are amazing.
Yeah.
Every morning.
See, I got a hot tub. I used to before Ian took it, but we got a hot tub down there, and like even the pool, like if it's not like 89, Jen
my
won't even get in
word.
it.
That's really hot. 89 degrees. I swim every morning. There's no way I could swim in 89 degree weather.
Oh, that's how you
I
just
mean, in
want
the
to be
water.
able to get in, and it feels good. No. There's no reason to be
You guys
cold.
would not recover in Florida with that.
Well, I don't know anything about anything, so there's that. That's the point of the show is to educate. So what I noticed about the game was how Will Trell and really all the running backs, they score a touchdown. They don't get mouthy. They don't get upset when they get tackled if they only get 1 yard, or get high if they get 10 yards. And it made me think about that kind of Massillon player that is a workhorse, because I always think of Jameer Thomas as one of the best. Where does that come from? Where do you see that as part of being an excellent player? Is that you don't get the emotion of what you're doing, you become a workhorse. Because I really see that, and you let me know if you see that between Jameer and Will Trell as just being all business.
Yeah, I mean, I think both guys were highly motivated to win, and I think both guys were willing to do whatever it took to win. Especially Jameer's senior year, where he, just was unbelievable. His senior year, really developed his speed in the off season, and I think they're both downhill runners, both very physical, punishing runners, and I think they both just want to win. I mean, Jameer just wanted to win. He didn't care about carries, he didn't care about yards, he didn't care about touchdowns. He just wanted to win the game. And Will Trail's the same way. Will Trail could care less how many carries he has. Will Trail wants to win. And when you have guys that are talented, that only care about doing whatever it takes for the team, special things happen.
Do you think, like, is it hard, like, he's talking about being mouthy and stuff, like, you guys play defense, they get upset when they start losing, offense and defense, like, you're constantly being tackled, like, constantly, so, you're constantly physically on somebody. How do you control those emotions when they start getting mouthy with you, or, I mean, is it just like, okay, next play, like, I'm just going to move to the next play, like, what do you do? Because they get mouthy up there. I film, so I know.
Yeah, I think a big part of it is just what we've, like the whole off season and like all the practices and stuff like that. It gets us like more used to it as we go through the season. A big part of it's trust too, because it's not like the coaches are going to tell us anything that's going to make us play worse, or they want to see us succeed too. So they're not going to purposely try to get us to play worse by criticizing us. We know that they're doing what they're trying to do something to get us to play better. So, and our teammates are also there to help us to play better too. They keep us up and make sure we keep our head on straight.
I feel like with the coaches, it's really easy like not to get mouthy because they're always going to tell you the right thing to do. But like with the other team, it's also really easy not to get mouthy because Coach Moore tells us every game, before every game, don't do anything stupid, because one little small thing, like you throwing a fist or like arguing with somebody can get you took out for the next week, and that'll suck, especially if you're a key player on the team.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's important to remember. Like I always get nervous sometimes when it's been a tough game. I didn't necessarily against St. Ed's because I felt like they were well coached and disciplined. I always get nervous, especially when week 10 comes up and you guys like line up after a win and shake hands. Like I think everybody gets a little bit like. Because, you're right, because even as the refs are still on the field, I didn't know this, but he told me this, if the refs are still on the field and they're, like, walking and somebody pushes and the punch throws, they're out for the next game. Like, the refs, even after the game is over, can throw you out for the next game. So that's why it's really important to be disciplined.
So have either of you had a situation where somebody is yelling at you all game? And I'm talking about the away team or, your opponent. And what do you do in your mind to say, I'm not going to push him, I'm not going to tell him certain words I heard on the school bus or whatever? Like, what's going through your guys' minds in those places?
I haven't really had to deal with that too much. I feel like there's been a couple of times where stuff like that's happened, but it's not like I've really been in a position that would tempt me to do something that would hurt the team in any way. But I think a big part of it is just knowing that your team has your back and you don't want to do anything that would hurt the team's chances to win. Because when all your teammates trust you and your collective goal is just to win the game, you got to be bigger than a small situation, and you just can't let that get to you. You got to keep your head on.
Bigger than a small situation.
Yeah, that was a good answer. Can you top that one? That was a pretty good one.
That's Mr. ACT right there. I don't know.
Yeah.
I always remember the guy next to me because if I do something bad that can get me in trouble, I'm jeopardizing him as well. So one thing Coach Moore told us is during the summer we did something about warrior culture, and what was the story about the guys with it was like a fine. If you lose the helmet, you get a fine. You lose your sword, you get a fine. But if you lose your shield, you get penalized with death. And us doing something like that is just like losing your shield. You're hurting your team, so that's penalized by death. So that's not a good thing.
Good answers.
I like it. I mean, because I've been going to the Massillon games since the 70s. You guys remember the 70s, right? You were both big in disco. You loved it. You know what I'm talking about. And you don't always remember players' names and numbers, but you remember their attitude and the way they played. You really do. I may not be able to pull their name off the top of my head, but I just wonder if you guys know how much of a legacy you play into, because you guys are here for 4 years and you go on, you might go to college, but I'm sitting in the same seats that I sat in
1970?
when Jimmy Carter was president. That's where
I don't even know who that is. What do you mean?
You know, and that's a long time, and you're a part of that legacy. How, one, do you know that, and two, how does that help you play?
Yeah, that's definitely something we acknowledge as a team, just the past history and the established like culture of the team and the community around us. It really helps with the support from the community, because that shows just like how big of a deal it is to everybody. And we definitely know like all the state championships from the past and national championships, and how good our teams have been, and how great of a culture that's been created here. So that definitely helps when we're like in the weight room or something like that, where the coaches can talk about like we have to live up to the standard that's been set. So that helps us just push us to a next level and to be more disciplined, I think.
One thing I feel like is like we always stress it like it's bigger than you. Like you're playing for everybody in the stands, you're playing for your brothers on the sideline, it's playing for your coaches, people in the past, people before you. So it's always going to be bigger than you. This is one thing you got to remember, that you play. You're grateful to play for a city like this. There's a lot of people who don't get the opportunity, so you just got to play for something bigger than you.
Yeah, he's still mad at his parents that he didn't play here. I'm like, that ship sailed a long time ago, dude. He still tells his parents.
100%.
He says he still tells his parents, I'm still mad at you. I'm like, you're the head coach now. Like, it's just kind of funny.
I'm jealous of our kids. Our kids have the experience they get to have is just unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, and I always think about how much pressure is on you guys, that whether it's fair or unfair, there's nothing you can do about it. You are carrying a town on your back. Yes, we want to win a state championship, but that's nothing compared to beating McKinley. Like, that's what, that's a whole year. You think about it, that it rolls, and I just think you guys are so young to have that kind of pressure. I don't know how you do it.
They
I
just
really
keep
don't.
winning. What do you mean?
But whether you win or lose, you have the pressure before that game.
Yeah, they do.
After the game, sure, it's easy to think that, but I don't know how you walk out and that morning and do all that stuff and carry that on you.
And
That's
they
a
dress
lot.
nice. I think it's because they dress nice. So this year, every week they wear like white button-down shirts, and then they wear an obi tie. I mean, they look phenomenal. I love actually. I try to go up on Fridays just so I can see them walking in the hall, because they look very confident. I think dressing nice builds confidence. And I never look at them, and they may be stressed, but I've asked Will Trell this and some other guys. I'm like, do you get nervous? Like, and I think that our coaches, we have such a great staff, and we have such a great, just superintendent down here that has supported these kids. He's on the sidelines. Your principal's on the sidelines with you. I think you're right. Like, I don't think you guys maybe feel that kind of pressure. It doesn't look like you do. Anyway, but do you feel pressure this week? Because we've never seen Delaware, so we've played St. Ed's, we've played Austintown, but you can't sleep. You can't sleep because then you get complacent. So what do you think about this team? I mean, tell us about them. Who are we looking for? What do you think we're gonna see?
The film definitely helps us feel more confident and not as nervous, I think, because when you prepare in your film study and stuff, you get to know like whoever you're going against, you get to know their tendencies and what they're good at and what they're not so good at. So I think that helps a lot, just because you can go out there comfortable knowing mostly what's going to happen. Obviously there's some things that you won't be able to prepare against, that you won't know that are coming, but as long as you can prepare as much as possible, it helps you play confident and not as nervous as you typically would be.
What do we need to expect from Delaware? What do you think we're going to see? They're going to run, throw? What are we going to see?
I think it's just a really good team. And they're coming down, obviously they're coming down here with the intent to beat us, like coming 800 miles. But I also think we're a really good team. And the coaches every Sunday break down film for us. Coach Moore sends out like their best players. And I feel like that gives us like a big edge on a lot of teams. I'm not sure if any other high school really does that, but we break down the film really well. And you go look at notes throughout the week, like through practice. If you make a mistake, there's something there to correct it. And like as well with the scouting reports, when they break down the percentages of what they're going to do. So most of the time you expect it, or like how much we rep in practice of a certain play or something they're going to do. You get in the game, it just gets easy. Like you just get used to it.
And talking about reps in practice, so you guys have, you know, your play. Well, it's the scout team players of the week. Who were the scout team players of the week last week? Those are the guys that were the dogs, putting in the work.
One of them was Brum, I think.
Oh, Andrew Brumfield.
Yeah.
I love him. I think he's funny.
What else was it?
It was mine.
Yeah, Milan too.
Marlon Lennox.
Yeah, 2 workhorses.
Yeah.
And so they get.
They get a special T-shirt sponsored by Simon Says, and they are the Scout Team Player of the Week. But tell us why you think those guys are important for you guys. Because I just think, you know, those are two good guys.
Those dudes right there, they take beatings all week. And they get up every time. They get hit, they get up, they take beatings, but they do it for us to go out on Fridays, be successful, and win games. Without them, we don't win anything. So
Yeah, I definitely agree. Scout team's been a big part of what I've done at practice the past 2 years. So it's like I definitely understand the grind it is really, because you just got to go out there and do everything you can to make your teammates better. And sometimes it sucks, but that's what helps you know that you're contributing to the team. Because sometimes if you're just going to practice and you're not really doing anything there, you're not playing scout team or anything, you can go out on Friday and feel like you're not really contributing anything. But I think that definitely helps to make you feel better, and you know that you actually helped your team win. So
Did you have a specific moment when you were in the scout team the last 2 years that when the game was going on that you were like, hey, I ran that play and I saw that and I'm the reason they made that? Or do you have a memory like that?
yeah, not really anything specific, but there's a bunch of times I played like fullback on scout team offense, and we ran like ISO plays where the fullback goes head up to block the middle linebacker, and I think I ran that a couple times at practice, and then I see it in the game, and it's like, well, it's a good thing we ran that at practice because now they know what's coming. So that it helps a lot though. And
Probably think I did a better job than that guy.
Yeah.
That's what he's really thinking. He just didn't want to say it. He didn't want to say it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, Scott, they always come in here and they sit here and they have all this nice gear, you know, because we can't get that kind of gear. But
look at this.
Look at this.
Oh.
Yeah.
We've got Tiger Pride.
We got Tiger Pride.
Which we always have, and I got a hoodie.
Because he's cold.
Yeah, I'm a cold guy. Everyone knows that. I'm going to put this on and take a ice bath after the show. And this will be on sale
Underneath the stadium. But what I'm excited about is this week, it is getting a little bit chillier. So now the store is going to have short sleeves for those of you who run warm. Because I'm not allowed to say hot guy.
Yeah, because that doesn't mean what you think I mean.
Yeah, and then long sleeves, because I like long sleeve t-shirts, because I like to run with them and then take them off while I'm running. And then a sweatshirt.
Yeah, well, it's more than a sweatshirt. We got yourself a hoodie.
Oh, it's a hoodie.
I'll
It's
be
a
wearing
hoodie.
this on Friday because I'll be cold.
In section 14.
Of course.
Section
Where else
14.
am I going to be?
But
except
did you
section
notice?
14?
But did you also notice this?
Yeah, you've got Pitt.
If you
For
guys haven't
your
noticed,
son?
this is amazing jacket. I just want you to see it. Look at this. Look, like there's patches in the back. I gotta show you the back too. It's bedazzled. Can you see the back?
Oh, it's I'm bedazzled
It's
by it.
bedazzled.
Uh-huh.
So Barb Bettis.
Barb Bettis.
Oh, did I say it wrong?
B Design.
Oh my God, I said
Barb
it wrong.
Bettis at B Design.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
B Bettis, Bettis at iCloud.com.
You jinxed me.
Yeah.
Okay,
No,
but
'cause-
B design. So she designed this. But listen, she's designing a special one for week 10, and I can't wait because this is how amazing is this one?
It's a great jacket.
It's beautiful.
And
anyone
Abby
can
Lino.
go here and get one.
So come down to the Tiger store. I got an Abby Lino jacket from the Tiger store, and then I emailed B.bettis@iCloud.com. I met Barb. She was awesome, and she was so nervous. I'm like, this is perfect, you know.
It is very
and I did
nice.
it just like that too.
I'm sure that was pleasant. As pleasant it was for everyone listening. But I'm gonna get mine, Lil Wayne, of course. I'm gonna get my Lil Wayne bedazzled thing, and I will be wearing that.
Next time. Never.
Before we move on to our hype question.
Yeah, we have a
I
hype
gotta
question for you.
ask the coach something.
Uh-oh.
I was thinking, I'm curious, how upset are you that you are never going to be the second winningest coach at Massillon? I've been thinking about this.
The second winning is.
You're never going to be the second. Right now, you're the third winningest coach. If you get to 79, you're going to be tied for second. If you get to 80, you're tied for first, then you're first. You're never going to be the second winningest coach. Isn't that a shame?
Like, how do you think it's like? Did you?
So
How if this is keeping you up at night? Am I right?
we're just worried about Middletown, Delaware right now.
But you'd have to beat them to someday never be the second winningest coach.
Whatever that is we're fine with it. We're just worried about Middletown, Delaware.
I understand, but I thought of that today. And I thought I felt bad for him. So that's why
That he would never-
I got him wings. Whether it's going to be a weekly thing, that's up to Krause's. A nice sponsor. We'd leave this up here the whole
They're
time
great wings.
and have the Krause's. We're getting a picture taken here. The Krause's coach's corner. That's a nice
It's got a ring to it.
alliteration.
That's got a ring to it.
I mean,
Yeah.
that could happen, Krause's.
That's better than at home with Coach Moore.
Oh, come on. So now we move to our hype
This
point.
is my favorite
So,
question of the week.
Now, you guys are each going to give me a song to listen to before the game. You're giving me your hype song. So while you're working out, stretching, I don't really want the song you listen to in the ice bath, to be honest with you. This is the song that you're getting hyped up to run through. I want you to think about it. I got to review last week's songs.
Okay, we
So I have decided that I'm no longer saying what my favorite is because we're getting to the end.
Mm-hmm.
After the McKinley show, that'll be when I announce the hype song of the year, and I keep saying what's in first.
Well, because I keep asking you.
We can't do that anymore. So I got to be
You
quiet
think
about
that they're
it.
gonna get better?
Oh, well, these two, they've got great hype songs.
Okay.
But last week's was very interesting. So I don't remember who we had last week, but the kid who picked Sabotage by Beastie Boys, that had a beat. First song all year that's had a beat. It was hyped. I liked it.
Did you listen
But
to it all the way through?
I listened to the whole thing. I knew the video. It's a very classic video. There used to be a channel. Have you ever heard of MTV?
Yeah.
It was like YouTube, except it was on all the time. You'd have loved it.
It was like YouTube.
But the other one that Markavian picked, wow, he really got me.
What was it?
It was Tupac, Dear Mom.
Dear Mama. Yeah, I love Tupac. Yeah.
Well, it wasn't hype at all, but that's what you're listening to before you go out, that you're playing for your mom. I got kind of like, I mean, I might go down on the field Friday and give him a hug. I don't know if you're allowed to hug a football player before the game. That might be anti-hype, but I was like, this is what he's listening to before he plays? It was pretty moving. So last week,
You had
good
never heard
songs.
it before? It's Tupac.
Why would I hear Tupac?
You're wearing a hoodie.
It didn't come with the Tupac. No. But we've got good ones from you guys.
Okay.
I sense it. Now this is what you listen to get hyped up.
All right, Andre. It's gonna be good.
I'm stuck between two.
Okay.
All right, well, the first one, I gotta go with Blue Notes by my boy Meek Mill. It's a great
Blue
song.
Notes
Yeah.
by Meek Mill.
Yeah.
Hey, we've had a Meek Mill
We've had a
pick.
Meek Mill
I
before.
get it.
Any
I know Meek Mill. I'm in.
And my second one would probably be 03 Condolences by J. Cole.
J. Cool, like
No, J. Cole.
J. Cole.
Yeah.
I feel like I kind of know that one too. What was the song?
03 Condolences.
But it's not that song. Yeah.
No, but I feel like J. Cole. I feel like somebody
Yeah.
might have picked that or something.
Yeah.
I had to search. By the way, my YouTube suggestion thing is way off now. 'Cause I'm listening to so much Lil Wayne. What do we got, Christian?
Probably War With Us by NBA Youngboy.
War with Us by NBA.
NBA Youngboy.
I was so excited because I knew what Tupac was. I have not known any of the other songs. I was like, I don't know what these people are talking
If you're
about.
listening along at home, and I don't know why you would be, we've got 2 new hype songs. We're gonna do this. We've got the New York team and the McKinley team. then that's it. So there's only 4 more hype songs. Then the next week, I announce the Massillon
winner.
Tiger hype song of 2022. Winner gets Krause's Pizza. I hope that they step in and pay for it, to be honest. Once we get this.
You mean Kraus is not the winner, right?
Well, I'm just saying I hope Krause is paid for
I
it.
know, not the
Yeah.
winner. You're like.
They're going to pay for the winner's pizza, is
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah.
hoping for.
Yeah.
So, there we go. Anything else? Do we forget to thank anyone, or sometimes we forget things? Or
Yeah. No, I think we've had a good week. Go get your custom design
Yeah.
jacket.
Tiger Pride.
Go get your Tiger Pride shirt. You know, it's nice to have like, isn't it nice to have nice gear? Doesn't it make you feel better? I mean, on Fridays they feel good because they're wearing those ties.
Yeah.
You're gonna feel good Friday.
Yes, and it's not because they practiced all year or poor Coach Moore has done all his work. No, it's because they put a tie on. That's why. To her, that's what does it. It's not all the hard work. Just put a tie on and you'll win.
Well, until next week. TIG.
ERS.
We're out.
The entrepreneurial spirit runs strong at Simon Says Promotions. That's why if you've seen us everywhere in downtown Massillon, it's because we're growing. Stop in and see our guys at Spirit of Stark on 409 Erie Street North. If you're in the spirit for that new look, head over to Studio Vibes and tell Allie the Stark Media Team sent you. We've rebranded the old checkered flag building at 256 Erie Street South as Simon Says HQ, featuring Copeland Paints, Brooklyn Rio Boudoir, Cherry on Top Logistics, Studio Vibes, and we are adding new tenants monthly. Speaking of new, have you seen what's coming out of the vault at the new Tiger store at 59 Lincoln Way East? New game day prints dropping weekly with new store hours. Trust me, they can't wait to see you. Check us out on social media and find out what's new, or for occupancy and employment inquiries, email simonsayspromotions@gmail.com today.